1588. The English Channel, a place of wood, wind, and wrath. The Spanish Armada, the most powerful naval force ever assembled. 130 ships, 8,000 sailors, 18,000 soldiers. A floating empire of faith and fire, sent to conquer England and change the course of history. Now, rewind the tape of time. Inject a single variable into this ancient struggle, a ghost from the future. Send one ship, not of wood, but of steel. Not powered by sail, but by turbine. A ship armed not with cannons, but with guided missiles, radar, and computers that can think faster than 1,000 admirals. This is the USS Nimitz, an Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer, the pinnacle of naval warfare, a 9,000-ton titan of technology. What if it found itself alone, facing the entire Spanish Armada? Not in the open ocean, but in the confined, bloody waters of the English Channel. Its mission? Simple. Survive, number, annihilate. To understand this clash, we must first understand the chasm between these two forces. It's not just a gap of centuries, it's a chasm of fundamental reality. First, the Spanish Armada. Its power was in its scale and its soldiers. Their largest galleons, like the Nuestra Señora del Rosario, were floating fortresses. But their cannons were short-range, inaccurate siege weapons. Their true strength was in closing the distance, grappling, and swarming enemy decks with thousands of hardened tertios. Their world was one of muscle, rope, and the range of a man's eyesight. The USS Nimitz operates on a different plane. Its power isn't in its men, but in its sensors and its reach. Its Aegis radar system can track hundreds of targets, from aircraft to sea-skimming missiles, over 200 miles away. It sees the entire battlefield in any weather, day or night. It is the ultimate predator. Its weapons are tools of precise, long-range destruction. A single SM-2 missile can strike an aircraft over 90 miles away. Its 5-inch gun can accurately hit a target the size of a car 15 miles distant. And for anything that gets too close, the Phalanx Close-In Weapon System, a radar-guided 20mm Gatling gun that fires 75 armor-piercing rounds per second. It's a wall of tungsten. So, the stage is set. The ultimate fleet of the 16th century against the ultimate singleton of the 21st. The rules of engagement? There are none. This isn't a battle. It's an investigation. Let's begin. The Nimitz detects the Armada long before a single sail appears on the horizon. Radar paints a picture of chaos. Over 100 slow-moving contacts spread across 20 square miles of ocean. To the Nimitz's computers, it's not a fleet. It's a target-rich environment. The Spanish, meanwhile, see nothing. A lookout high in the crow's nest of the San Martin squints into the mist. He hears a low hum, a sound unlike any whale or storm. It's the Nimitz's gas turbines, a demon's whisper on the wind. The captain of the Nimitz has a choice. He could engage from over the horizon, a ghost delivering death unseen. But for our scenario, he chooses to close the distance, to send a message, to create psychological shock. On the Spanish decks, panic begins. Is it a cloud? A trick of the devil? It has no sails. It makes no sense to their 16th century minds. Confusion is the Nimitz's first weapon. The Nimitz doesn't fire its most precious missiles. Not yet. It begins with its 5-inch Mark 45 naval gun. To the Spanish, it's an incomprehensible cataclysm. A thunderclap from a clear sky. A single hit from a high-explosive round doesn't just damage a galleon, it disintegrates it. The range is impossible. The accuracy is supernatural. The Armada's formation begins to buckle. Ships scramble to turn, to bring their broadside cannons to bear. It's a slow, laborious process. The Nimitz simply maneuvers, staying at a precise 5-mile range, a distance from which Spanish cannons are utterly useless. They are throwing stones at a fortress wall. The gun continues to fire. Crack. A munitions ship carrying black powder for the invasion force vanishes in a fireball that lights up the channel. Crack. The flagship of a squadron, the San Lorenzo, has its mainmast severed, crashing down onto the crowded deck in a tangle of sail and splinters. The Nimitz is systematically dismantling the Armada's command structure. The Spanish are not fools. Their admiral, the Duke of Medina Sidonia, gives a desperate order. Close with it. Board it. It is only one ship. 30, then 40 small ships charge the Nimitz. They are packed with soldiers clutching muskets, pikes, and grappling hooks. They believe if they can just get close enough, they can overwhelm this demon with sheer courage and numbers. The Nimitz lets them come. It ceases fire with its main gun. An eerie silence falls, broken only by the roar of the approaching swarm and the shouts of the Spanish soldiers. At 1 mile, the Nimitz unveils its final layer of defense, the Phalanx CIWS. It acquires the lead pinnace. There is no aiming. The system is entirely automated. The lead pinnace doesn't just sink, it is vaporized. Shredded into matchwood and crimson mist in less than a second, the CIWS swivels. Brrrr-tee. Another ship vanishes. Brrrr-tee. A third. It's a scythe cutting through wheat. The charge disintegrates into a slaughter. The water is churned into a red foam of splinters and debris. Not a single Spanish vessel gets within 500 yards. With the swarm annihilated and the Armada in full disarray, the Nimitz makes its final move. It turns away, increasing speed to over 30 knots. It simply runs away. But this is not a retreat. It is creating standoff distance. It fires its harpoon missiles. These are fire-and-forget weapons. They skim just feet above the waves, undetectable and unstoppable. Each one is programmed with the location of a high-value target. The remaining Spanish flagships, the large troop transports. One by one, across the scattered fleet, the largest ships of the Armada are struck by an invisible force and erupt into flame. The Spanish have no context for this, no defense. It is the wrath of God, delivered with silicon chip precision. In less than an hour, the battle is over. The invincible Armada is gone. Its fighting power has been erased. Over 50 ships are sunk or sinking. The rest are scattered, leaderless, and broken. The Spanish have suffered casualties in the thousands, perhaps over 10,000. The Nimitz has not a single scratch. Its ammunition expenditure is a rounding error in a modern naval budget. But the true impact is not just physical, it is psychological, historical, and theological. For the Spanish survivors, this was not a defeat. It was an act of divine judgment. They faced a ship with no sails, weapons that roared like continuous thunder, and plagues of invisible, unstoppable fire. Their entire worldview, their faith in their mission, their understanding of the natural world, has been shattered in a single morning. The geopolitical fallout is immediate and absolute. England is not just saved. It is now the unchallenged supreme naval power for centuries to come, guarded by a ghost they don't even know exists. Spain's empire collapses overnight. The gold from the New World stops flowing. The balance of global power shifts irrevocably, centuries ahead of schedule. And the USS Nimitz? It would report an anomalous contact with a large fleet of primitive vessels. Mission accomplished. It would then sail off, leaving behind a sea of wreckage and a historical mystery that would never ever be solved. A ghost in the machine of time. So, what have we learned from this thought experiment? It demonstrates that technological superiority isn't just about better weapons. It's about a fundamental shift in the very nature of combat. The Spanish Armada fought a battle of force. Massed soldiers, broadside volleys, boarding actions. The Nimitz fought a battle of information. It saw first, it saw everything, and it struck with unerring accuracy from a safe distance. This is the evolution of warfare, from brute strength to binary code. The outcome was never in doubt. A single modern destroyer wouldn't just defeat the Spanish Armada, it would obliterate it with near-total impunity. It is the ultimate expression of the principle that a single technological leap can render an entire era of strategy and courage obsolete. But this leaves us with a haunting, open-ended question. We've seen the past stand no chance against the present. So, what about the future? What if the tables were turned? What if we sent our finest modern carrier strike group, a Nimitz-class carrier, its destroyers, its air wing, back in time, only to find itself facing itself, but upgraded, autonomous, armed with railguns, laser point defense, and artificial intelligence that makes human reaction times look slow? What if our own technology evolved and decided to fight back? That's a battle where the outcome is anything but certain. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. What historical army would you pit against a future force? The answer, in the next What If?